Hey there, this is a much anticipated video. I had already promised it, so here it is. About, this video is going to be about the crackpot scheme that is HIV or AIDS when it turns into it. Okay, this is the HIV discussion. Okay, let's put this into perspective. Let's look at the facts or the assumptions or whatever. HIV discussion. On possible motives of why this is like convenient. HIV just seems too convenient for for it to have emerged and stuff. I don't know. I guess some viruses or some diseases do emerge like that, like just happen, and I don't know. People suffer from them. Some die, whatever. Pandemics, this and that. But this one seems too convenient, too tricky. It just seems like some manipulation and stuff. Okay, first of all, this virus or disease sounds very fishy from the beginning. Maybe at the beginning you might not be aware that there are people who control the media and are notorious for setting and pushing agendas for some kind of gain, which is solidifying and hold on. I can't shit. I can't understand my own writing. Hold on. Oh yeah, solidifying and maintaining their own power. Um, keeping the public in confusion and suspense, doubting what this disease really is or if it is at all. Um, so yeah, let's look at the characteristics of this disease. It is transmitted by direct contact of blood or general fluids or breast milk into like breastfeeding babies, whatever. Uh, or if you have a laceration or a cut, whatever, and I don't know, blood from an HIV carrier might comes into contact with you, like in sex. If you have a laceration in your vagina, or your penis, whatever, then the other person bleeds on it and stuff. That's how you can contract it. Um, why is my page all wrinkled? I don't know why. It's like the corners are curling and stuff. Or because I lean on it, like rest my hand on top of. Yeah, fluids, open skin lacerations, especially in sexual intercourse. Anal sex is the most riskiest, followed by vaginal, and so on. This and that. Anal sex. Um, yeah, this also makes sense because I mean, people like before, if they didn't want to, even though there's still like a lot of moral issues, moral policing going on, like morals that try to keep people from going buck wild and stuff. Um, those are all like obstacles and shit to keep you from going buck wild. But yeah, or keep you from being promiscuous or sexually liberated. Uh, yeah, especially in sexual intercourse, anal sex, which it makes sense because I don't know, maybe if women don't want to get pregnant, they'll try anal sex, but then anal sex is the most riskiest and shit. Well, I guess kind of makes it. I don't know, because anal sex is not. It's like more It seems like it's more rigid, so it's more likely to tear and bleed and be open for transmission, whatever. And especially in sexual intercourse, anal sex is the riskiest vaginal, and then so on. It goes down the line and stuff. But it can't be transmitted by shaking hands or by drinking out of an infected person's glass or cup. Um, I've seen some doctors say that it may be extremely rare to be transmitted by like kissing and stuff like that. But I've seen one doctor on YouTube. Yeah, so now let's talk about the presumed facts. The virus cannot be transmitted by a blood-sucking mosquito because the virus hasn't been able to like figure out how to travel back like through the snout back into the other patient that it bites, or the patients that bites after the after it has been infected with the HIV hasn't evolved to travel back the the snout. Yeah, I mean, and as far as the mosquitoes, it gets kind of it gets kind of blurry after that with all the explanations that they give, but they don't make a whole lot of sense. To just say the mosquito snout has like two tubes, one for extracting blood, the other one for injecting like saliva to numb the or prepare the area where it's gonna bite or whatever on the skin, human skin mostly. Um, but yeah, I would think like that little needle, it's being like it's piercing through the skin basically and drawing blood and stuff. So I would think some of it gets the blood gets mixed up in there and stuff. But I don't know. They say that humans don't carry that. They have like low counts of HIV, so it's very unlikely for that to happen and this and that. So I don't know. They just tell you not to worry about mosquito bites, getting HIV through mosquito bites. So people just accept it, and they are like calm after that and content. Um, but that doesn't quite make sense. It just I don't know. It's just like very kind of vaguely kind of explains it. Nothing's clear. And come to think of it, like I'm gonna put a lot of I'm gonna try to put like links and stuff, even though with my phone it's kind of hard. But I saved some web pages talking about this, and I've also seen videos on YouTube. Like there was this doctor in Spanish TV. He inoculated himself with like an HIV's positive patient's blood. He injected it onto himself to prove that it can't be passed on. Because I don't know, they say some people have just like HIV, but that's just like what they're naturally born with. And I don't know, they can be healthy as hell, but I don't know. It could be like it is possible for them to like build up all this frenzy and stuff, and because people believe the medics and the healthcare professionals, the doctors, just listen to whatever they have to say, and they do what they tell them. Take the drugs, this and that. And I don't know. People might actually be feeling sick from all the drugs that they take from the side effects of those drugs, liver failure, this and that, the other. Just like having a brain tumor. Like I know some people that's happened to. Like actually my neighbor, like she had a brain tumor and shit, but I don't know, she just went to get checked. She said she did have some minor symptoms and shit, but you always kind of get like sometimes you get a headache, minor headache, this and that, a cramp, a few things. She went to get X-rays, and then the doctors called her an emergency to go check into the hospital. Yeah, so basically she got the tumor removed. And why? She wasn't feeling any like symptoms and stuff. Why is that? Because she has like blind faith on the doctors, which and I'm not saying that in this case it wasn't necessary, but I'm just comparing it to HIV. They could use that trust to push the sometimes to treat people that don't really need to be treated. So yeah. And then okay, another big red flag. Unborn babies inside of their mother's womb uh, have inside of an HIV positive mother's womb, unborn babies when they're like born, they can still wash all that whatever the wherever the baby's gonna pass through the passage, they can sterilize it, whatever, and then keep the baby from getting infected, and the baby can be like come out with no HIV. That's kind of weird, and that's kind of difficult to like questionable. But yeah, this you should really meditate on this stuff because there's like a crackpot scheme in effect underway. Yeah, so the main purpose of the HIV crackpot scheme is that they will scare women from being sexually liberated, or at least most of them from having sex with people of lower social status, right? Like I don't know, because if you're like real, I don't know, like poor, or if you're like whoever is like perceived to be like of a lower social status, and then that goes by race and gender, whatever, everything, even the language you speak, everything is like connected, hints towards like what the hell you are. um yeah, from having sex with people of lower social status, which means those guys that control the society, the patriarchy, the guys that are up there like riding the crest of the wave are not at the bottom of the social, like they're the ones who have the most social status, the highest profile. Yeah, people of lower social status, and particularly men. And the social tension will ease for women to get with the higher status men, right? Because I mean, they still think like, um, well, I do want to get married and have kids and stuff, but instead of risking it out there with all these other guys, I'm just gonna go for the guys that's like, I don't know, the rich CEO or whatever. Tension will ease for women to get with the higher status men. Yeah, keep in mind that society as it is right now controls women. Men, especially with power, they have a lot of control over women. Hold on. Yeah, men, especially with power, they have a lot of control over women. Just yeah, when you're growing up, like they just like the only path you can take is basically be like, I don't know, submissive and like succumb to whatever society expects of you as a woman. So yeah, I mean it's 2000, almost 16 now. It's like we're December 2015. Okay, this video is being recorded on the 27th No, it's actually the 28th already. It's like an almost 2 hours on into the 28th of December, Mountain Time, um, of 28th December 2015. So yeah, it's almost 2016, but we just have a few days, and we still haven't gotten a female president or anybody within like power, whatever. I don't know. We don't get that many women in like positions of power. Most of them is just like symbolic shit, but they don't have any real power. So it's just like very obscured shit. It's just like really obscured. Yeah, so keep in mind that this bullshit is happening. Yeah, men, especially with power control women, use this to control women because they are considered basically property. So, yeah, women basically are considered property. This is a logic that I'm following here. Um, um, yeah, it's like if you have a car, I don't know, you can you're supposed, I don't know, somebody that's like power hungry and stuff, which they all are. All those patriarchs. I mean, if you have a car, would you want somebody else to use it? No, it's the same. It's your property. It's just like women, they're your property. And then you can have more than one, as many as you can. So it's basically the same logic behind it. So that's how but women are sentient, like sentient property, have feelings, and like, so it takes a little bit more work to trick them into stuff. So that's why how the crackpot scheme of HIV comes into the picture. Use this to control. Yeah, just like you don't want other people. Yeah, you don't want somebody else using your cars. You don't want somebody else sexing your women, right? So yeah, basically it's the same concept or a similar concept. So the explanations concerning AIDS become very intricate, and it actually doubts. No, it actually clouds up your mind with all this T cell talk, this shit, that other shit. Yeah, apparently, and then they came out with another study. I saw another documentary on Vice on Truvada, that new drug that prevents like, I mean, if you take it or like a few days, a few hours, or a few days after like you've been exposed to AIDS and shit, it can help you stay negative. Like it can help you repel the infection and like not get infected, and it can also help you, like people that are like have like HIV positive partners, like one's positive, the other's negative, like they use it and they don't get infected. It's like up to 99% safe, prevents the transmission of HIV. People that are having like sex. Um yeah, this is just real real suspicious. And it actually clouds up your mind with all this T cell talk. Oh yeah, T cell talk, T cells, whatever. The virus goes into T cells and it replicates, and then it goes further out and infects other cells, and that's how it grows. This and that, the other, but Truvada somehow blocks it from infecting T cells. Whatever that means. Yeah, clearly I'm not a doctor or maybe not a biologist or a researcher and shit, but I don't know, the crackpot schemes sometimes they're like way too ridiculous. This seems like, I don't know, it seemed like, I don't know, they just just want to insult your intelligence. And ends up giving and growing doubts in their mind. Yeah, that's what happens to the average person. The average person just ends up giving up and growing and letting doubts grow in their mind that maybe since all the medical professionals are vouching for AIDS, that AIDS exists, or HIV, maybe they know something that I don't know, and I'm not that specialized. They spend their lives researching this stuff, so yeah, maybe they know something more than that I don't know. That's what goes into the average people's thoughts. So it must be, yeah, you got to keep in mind that, people have an agenda behind it. So they're, I don't know, likely to, connive and fucking frame and set up and, just try to manipulate you. Know something that I don't, so it must be true. And I'm just gonna err on the side of caution and not be promiscuous or whatever. Go buck wild. Even though AIDS seems improbable, it does seem improbable. Shit, I got a lot of pages to go. It's just a little notebook. Yeah, it seems very improbable, and convenient for all these people who have power in society. Think about it. AIDS is very convenient. It even bashes gays over the head on the side just to add insult to injury. You know, they have they have been caught up with the trampled along the gays. No, not gays. Along the HIV/AIDS scare, whatever. They got trampled along with it too. I mean, some people say they spawned the disease, but whatever. Yeah. These schemes fit right in place with the patriarchal power structure. It seems like gays are persecuted in this society and all over the world. They try to discourage people from engaging in gay behavior, gay sex, basically. I mean, which is, I don't know, if you take the stigma away from it, it's basically just, a piece of flesh going inside your piece of flesh, just like heterosexual sex is the same thing, kind of. I know there's other, I don't know, if it's butt sex, it's just flesh going inside of another piece of flesh. That's it. It seems like they put, okay, yeah, for a while, it's like the calm after the storm, or the eye of the storm. It seems like they put these issues to rest sometimes, but then you have the Bible saying homosexuality is wrong. Then the anti-gay sentiment picks back up and gains momentum, and it picks up pace again. And you might have thought we were through this, or we were over it, or through the storm. But no, it keeps coming back and back. It's like relentless and shit. And this shit's just silly. Yeah, so gays get more AIDS because they're more promiscuous, and the anus tears and bleeds more easily. So you can get exposed more easily. At least that's a widely accepted explanation. Okay, the most apparent reason for why relentless gay bashing persists and seems to come out of nowhere is because, okay, the patriarchy does not want the homosexual practices to spread and be accepted because they wouldn't want another man to treat them like a woman. So yeah, this patriarch doesn't want realizes that if it grows too much, gets too much acceptance, um, if they don't stigmatize it enough to stem it and thwart it, it might just he might just end up, becoming another man's bitch, basically. He doesn't want to be treated like a woman by another man. That's basically what it comes down to. Yeah, so that's why there's a split in genders and being in control of the other. That's why they split like genders. It's like they don't want them to be equal. Like the genders, like it seems like one has to be subjugated by the other one. Um, women being subjugated by men. Yeah. So with all these anti-gay stigmas and the Bible ethics and stuff like that, Christian ethics and other religious ethics, like other religions are just pretty much kind of similar, right? But yeah, the anti-gay stigmas, Christian ethics, Bible ethics, and all will be, all these are used to deter man from engaging in gay behavior, in gayness, making them less likely, making them less likely to be treated like a bitch by another man. This means like the patriarchs at the top. And so it goes. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, so it does make perfect sense. This reflects the same theme. It reflects the same thing of constant divisions in society by race, like some races taking advantage of of other races because they rank higher in the social totem pole. Yeah, so basically, like, women take advantage of no, men take advantage of women and stuff like that. And they want, I don't know. There's so many stereotypes like, oh, get back in the kitchen, make me a sandwich, woman, and this and that. Just want them to raise children, this and that, the other. And they're kind of powerless there. So yeah, this is how. This is the why. I don't know. In case somebody hasn't connected the dots, I'm laying out the foundation for you to connect the dots with this video, which is almost 30 minutes long. Yeah. So the same thing with the women controlling and discrimination or taking advantage of women is encouraged by the architects of society, just like it's like the ladder of raise rankings or echelons that exists. It makes men think and defend patriarchy because they like that control exerted over women, and because it doesn't dawn on most of them that I don't know, they can, I don't know, or they don't even try to coexist in like equal terms. But the architects of society, just like ladder of race, this makes man think and defend the patriarchy because they like that control. Yeah, they like that bit of control that exerts over women. That's how it's like held together. Like it's like you get bribed. If we accept this reality in which men are in control, like you're gonna have this a little bit of like a few perks, which is power over women. So it's kind of like an addiction. You get addicted to it, kind of. I guess. So yeah, it's the same thing. It all goes together. It's interconnected and shit. And yeah, thus why the HIV crackpot scheme is just more power for the course, which is, it's for the same reason basically. Voila. So there you go. I just explained everything to you guys.